Hi, this is Grandma Lori. Today's story is Hamster Rescue Squad, Cricket Under Glass. Take that, yelled Fluffy as he advanced on his leader, Squeak. I've got you! Who is the Jedi Master now? I will always be the master, young Fluff, Squeak said as he took one last swing of his lightsaber. Fluffy crumbled into a small pile in front of him, and they both laughed. Guys! Yelled Whiskers. There's someone at the door. Well, go see who it is, Squeak said. As Whiskers opened the door, he saw nothing. He was about to close the door when a flash of green caught his eye. He looked down at the ground and saw an anxious Cricket. Oh, hello. I almost missed you. How can I help? He asked. Help! Help! Bob is stuck in a glass and can't get out, said the Cricket frantically. Whiskers said, Calm down, buddy. We're the Hamster Rescue Squad. We'll get him out. It's what we do. What's your name? Chris! Hurry, please! He's gonna wear himself out trying to get out, was Chris's reply. Almost immediately, Squeak popped up, complete in his rescue gear. That was fast, Whiskers chuckled. Squeak threw him an annoyed look. Always gotta be prepared. Now, Chris, give me more details. Where, when, and how did this happen? Chris filled Squeak and Fluffy in on the situation while Whiskers changed. Bob and I were trying to see who could jump the highest. I was winning and we were about to stop when Bob wanted to try just one more jump. He went up but never came down, so I crawled up to the top of the table to find him stuck in a glass. Whiskers joined them, and all three hamsters gasped. Can't he just jump out? Asked Fluffy. No, it's too tight in there. He can't crouch down low enough to put spring in his legs. By now, Chris was crying. Don't worry, buddy, said Squeak. We'll get him out. After all, we are the Hamster Rescue Squad. Together, the Hamster Rescue Squad and Chris made their way into the kitchen, being careful not to wake up the cats. As they approached the kitchen table, there was Bob in the glass. Is that what they call cricket under glass? Quipped Fluffy. Hush you, said Chris. That's my best friend. Fluffy looked sheepishly. Sorry. The Hamster Rescue Squad huddled together to come up with a plan. Whiskers, you're the best at climbing, so you go up to the top of the table and scope out the situation. Fluffy, you act as a lookout. Yell if you see anything. I'm going to do some quick surveillance around the kitchen to see the best angle to get this done. Got it, boss, Whiskers and Fluffy said at the same time. The hamsters scattered, each tending to their own task. Whiskers surveyed the scene and determined the best way to get to the top of the table. He jumped on the lower rung of the chair, then the higher one, up to the seat, then the back, then bingo! He was at the top of the table. Things didn't look good for Bob. Whiskers could see how tired he was from trying to get out. Don't worry, Whiskers said to Bob. We'll have you out in no time. Meanwhile, Fluffy was pacing the kitchen. He was afraid as always, but not so afraid he couldn't keep an eye out for potential dangers entering the room. All was quiet. Squeak followed Whiskers on the same route up to the top of another chair and jumped onto the counter. He could see there was another glass on the table not too far from the one Bob was in. That's it! That's how they were going to get Bob out. Squeak and Whiskers climbed back down to the floor and got with Fluffy and Chris. I've got it! There's another glass on the table that looks lighter than the one Bob is in. We'll push that one over so it knocks into Bob's. He'll be able just to crawl right out. Chris didn't want to be left out. I'm with you. I can help. Okay, but don't get in the way, Squeak said. The four started their climb up the chairs to the top of the table. Chris was able to get to the top of the seat in one jump, and then to the table with another jump. He went over to where Bob was in the glass. Don't worry, bud. The Hamster Rescue Squad has a plan. You'll be out in no time, he said reassuringly. Bob just blinked. He was so tired. The hamsters went over to the second glass on the table. They figured if they pushed slightly to the left, it would just hit Bob's glass enough to knock it over. They lined up to push. Oh, it must be time for breakfast, a voice said. It was Malcolm the Menace. Not today, Cat, Squeak said, pulling out his Jedi lightsaber and hitting Malcolm in the nose. Ow! That hurt, cried Malcolm. That's the point. Now go away. We're on a rescue mission. Not today. Wait till this stops singing, and you're done for, was Malcolm's reply. Squeak ran over to the rest of the squad and said, We need to hurry. Malcolm won't be put off for long. The three hamsters pushed and pushed the second glass. They could get it to tip, but not all the way over. On their third attempt, Chris took a running start and jumped toward the top of the glass. He hit it just in the right place, and it tipped over, hitting the glass Bob was in. Bob was free. Thank you, Bob said, hopping all over the top of the table. It's our job. You're very welcome, said Squeak, but we need to scram. I'm not comfortable with the way Malcolm is looking at us. Sure enough, Malcolm was looking like he could only see 3 pieces of tuna on the tabletop. The Hamster Rescue Squad split up, each going in a different direction, so that Malcolm couldn't get all of them. They ran their fastest. Fluffy wasn't so fast and was the last to the door. As Malcolm raised his paw to grab Fluffy, Whiskers opened the door to the headquarters and Fluffy slid in. Whiskers slammed the door shut, catching one of Malcolm's murder mittens in the door. Ouch! That hurt, you crazy hamster! Don't think I'm beaten. I'll get you next time. Thanks for listening. This is Grandma Lori. I appreciate you.